Hey, good morning. It's Sunday, Easter Sunday. This is day 7 of the Maintain 70. Yesterday was just, it's okay day. I did 9, I think, delivered 6, denied, declined 3, but then my grandkids called me and wanted to hang out, so I went and picked them up in the afternoon, and we went and had lunch and hung out for a little bit, and then I just got kind of tired and called it a day, so today I'm not expecting much, to be honest with you, because generally on holidays, this area just doesn't do a lot of door dashing, or my experience it hadn't been, so I just don't really mess with it. And we also have $2 peak pay from 5:30 till like 11:30 this morning. 3 different times, but they kind of just, bump into each other and stuff. So, we'll see what happens. I think that I'm going to try possibly to do the high paying order day. I don't know. We'll see. I did pretty good yesterday with that, and then kind of didn't strike out, but it just kind of had a couple of them that weren't really high paying, but they were like just right on the border of it. So I don't know. We may try that, just to hang out at the McDonald's, because there's, about 5 or 6 restaurants there, and generally have gotten fairly lucky on getting orders there. So right now I'm gonna head and get me some breakfast, get my day started, and then head over to see if I can catch a high-paying order day, and at least for the morning, and $2 peak pay on each of those high-paying orders would be fantastic on top of it. So we'll see. Have a great day. All right, so it's 9:50 and Easter peak pay. Two things that don't really mix in the area. I've had, I believe, just 3 orders today that I've accepted. I've denied one. So, I'm going to stick it out. We've got peak pay till 11:30, 12 o'clock, somewhere around there. So I thought, well, let's just ride it out and see what happens. But generally, peak pay doesn't work too well in this area. And then the holidays, I've just never really had a lot of good luck on it. So I think I've made about 25, 26 bucks since about 8 o'clock. So not great, but we'll ride it out and see what happens. So anyway, have a great one. Hey, how's it going? All right, it's almost 12 o'clock. So I've been out for almost 4 hours. I've made a little bit over 80 bucks. It's really been a much better day than I thought it was going to be. I took 8 orders out of 11, so 72% in my maintaining 70. Again, I still have not taken a order and delivered an order today or this week, or actually this month, without a tip. Today has been surprising just because it's been a peak pay and Easter. It's really not real good, but I did have a couple of good ones. I had one guy actually had sent me a message when I arrived at the restaurant saying he had put a $15 tip on, but even without that showing that, it was still a high paying order. So I think 7 of the 8 orders I accepted were high paying orders. So that's kind of, I'm going to kind of maybe do that next week. We're going to see. Maybe just try to do all high paying orders to see how that works out, just to test it and see. But we'll check on it. But anyway, appreciate you. Have a great one. All righty. Good morning. It's Saturday morning, the 8th of April. So for this week, I've been trying to do a maintain 70 without really taking a bunch of $2, $3 orders, just taking what I deem as valuable to me, to maintain a 70% to keep my top dasher status. I've had 72 orders hit my phone this week, Monday through Friday, and I've accepted 54 of them. I did have about 27 for the weekend before in April, so, but I'm not counting that in this little experiment here. So right now I'm sitting at 75%. And it also kind of leads me into the rolling 100, where you see a lot of people give you some bad information about how that actually works. And so just to kind of clarify it in my way, you have the rolling 100 gives you a percentage of what your acceptance rate is. And the really thing is, just remove the percentage and then just think, okay, like mine is 75, right now for these 5 days. So I have 75 acceptances out of the last 100 that I have. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you, oh, it don't jump, it jumps this much, it jumps that much, it doesn't quite jump, or whatever, or once you get to 50, it just doesn't do anything. And here's the thing: if you have a low acceptance rate of, say, 10, 15%, whatever, you only have 10 or 15 acceptances in the last 100. So at some point, you're going to see continued jumps with every acceptance if you do multiple ones in a row. And that all really depends on where your first, number one slot is accepted decline. So it just, unless you're keeping track of that individually to know exactly where you've accepted or declined stuff, you just have to continue to work or set a point where you're at, saying, okay, this is where I'm at today. I'm going to do 100, and then I'm going to do, 7 out of every 10, or whatever the case may be. And then once you hit, if you only did 10 10 orders per day that hit your phone, and you accepted 7 of them in 10 days, you are going to have a 70% acceptance rate, plain and simple. So, it's just kind of weird. I wouldn't really concern myself too much with the percentage until you need to get down to in crunch time. But hopefully the videos that I've done, and I've tried to, take screenshots of everything and show you and stuff, and and I would say that when I went back to check everything out, my per mile amount is $1.77, for the orders that I've taken, so it's not too bad. I also feel that in my area, because it is quite rural, that I will probably take a little longer trips, just because that's the way it is. But I've been working around McDonald's at some point, just McDonald's in Cleburne. So I may try to do a little experiment of just taking high-paying orders out of Cleburne, and I might do that next week or something, just to see if can I actually make enough or get enough orders to, make it worthwhile just hanging out there and taking orders. Because, I did, at one point I had 4 orders that made like $27, and I did that in 30 minutes. So, that wasn't too bad. But anyway, there are a few people online that I do watch and stuff, and I think one of the big issues that I have is listening to a lot of people, and especially cherry pickers, which, I don't really care how you dash, you do you. My issue is you come on and you act like, oh, this is DoorDash and it sucks or whatever. But the fact is, you're multi-apping or you're doing this, you're not really just DoorDashing, so you really don't have enough information to quantify and say something about DoorDash in particular over a set period of time. Pedro DoorDash, Mr. Bet on You, I was about ready to stop watching him, then he kind of flipped the switch and said, he's going to start giving facts and stuff, and his stuff is, for me, has gotten a lot better. And I think that you can always take tips and tricks from people, in a sense that there are things that will work in every market. One of the things that he does is, talks about where is it putting you. So, for me, I'd start out in a small town because I got 3 towns that are really close to each other and I can interact with them, but my zone is one big zone basically of the entire county. But so I may take an offer in Joshua, that looks not as great as what could, and there's a few of them in there that I've started out. Most likely, for some reason, I hit a Starbucks right off the bat for some reason in the morning. So it may be a $11 Starbucks for 15 miles, or it might, something, but it puts me right in the hot zone where I get a lot of the priority high pay orders that will balance that out. And old school, I do like to start the morning out and put some money on the table. So generally, my first order is not going to be the greatest order I take for sure, but I try to make sure it's an okay order. And especially if I'm going to Cleburne and I'm driving it, I'm going to make money while I'm driving it. That just makes sense. Whether it's $8 for 10 miles, $12 for 15 miles, or whatever, it's making money. And I'm headed that way anyway. I really enjoyed the series with Dasher, Trader, and Pedro, where, I think we all see, if you really watch them, that the acceptance rates does matter as far as what you're getting orders. So I can say that for me, I think that's part of the reason, because as of today for April, I have taken zero no tip orders. All my orders I've taken had tips. But I realize that you can dash or do gig work. I won't say dash because everybody assumes that's just DoorDash. You can do gig work multiple ways. If one of them is running multiple apps, that's fine. I personally only do DoorDash because the others are not really great here. But I also just don't want to fiddle with having multiple apps and stuff. That's just my style. Dasher Binge, I like him. He does some pretty good stuff. So, and again, there are things that you can take from everybody, and there are things that can apply regardless of how you dash. You just have to apply them in the correct way. And one of the things that for me, and I put this up in one of the videos, is I get about 20 miles a gallon with my truck. So I know, and gas has been hanging around $3. It went up a little bit, 3.30 I think was the last time I looked at it. But it's been about 15 cents a mile. So I know that for every mile that I have, it's cost me 15 cents to drive. That's something I know. There are areas in my zone, depending on where I'm at, where I'm picking up from, where I go, particularly two other cities, Godley and Alvarado, which are kind of, I would say, east and west, that it may tell me it's 10 miles, but there's shortcuts that I know that will take 4 miles off each way. So sometimes, although the app shows the miles to be a little bit more, sometimes they're really not. I mean, and I did one video where there was a couple of McDonald's orders that I did, and they were actually, two of them were to basically the same place. It's a plaza center, or a little shopping center or whatever, and it's basically an L shape, and one was in the corner of the L and the other one was on one end of the L. The one on the end of the L said it was a mile. The one on the corner said it was half a mile. And, really, in reality, they were both a quarter of a mile, at best. It was pull out, go up, go into the deal because McDonald's are right there. I've also done a couple where, I had a school that's right across from the Starbucks where I delivered to. That was a pretty good order, $8. There was a Days Inn hotel or something that I delivered to that you could take a picture, and I did take a picture of that right from the phone. So there are some things that you can do. My skills at video editing and doing stuff are not great, but I've tried to be honest and tried to put everything in there. So hopefully, the series will be all right, and I'll learn to be better at it and do some more and see what I can do, because I'm kind of interested in this end of it and seeing what happens. So anyway, I do appreciate it. I hope y'all find some good content with this. I hope you enjoy it, and y'all have a great day, and let's get some money. Hey guys, this is the GAC Dasher. And sitting here Sunday afternoon, and I have taken 96 orders, or not taken. Let me back that up. I've accepted 69 orders. I've seen 96 come across my phone from Monday until now. And this is my maintain 70, where, I'm just taking what I believe is valuable orders to me, and trying just to maintain the 70% acceptance rate, so Top Dasher is still in play. So, and I have yet to take a order that has not had a tip. Every single order that I've taken this month and this week has had a tip on it. So, there's that deal there. And, I've declined, whatever that is, 96, 69, 25 orders. So, whatever happens this afternoon, I'm going back out. And I say I don't chase money, I don't chase peak pay, but today has been really a fairly good day. And I've got peak pay coming up at 3:30 again, just $1. But I'm gonna go back out. I've got at least 4 more to make my 100 here, but I'm pretty much gonna call it on whatever happens today. And like I said, I have 69 accepts from Monday to Friday, so I just really need 1 more accept and 3 declines would be my 70 for the this experiment. So and again, I know that my videos and stuff are not top quality. I'm still learning on that, and probably take me a while, but this is just to show that yes, you can still take orders. You don't have to take trash orders to maintain the 70%. This is my market in Cleburne, Texas. And I feel very lucky because I have very little wait time. Usually my orders are ready, or they're finishing up packing them and giving them to me. And 90 to 95% of the people tip here. I'm not saying they're great tips or they're the best tips ever, everything, but for the most part, it's $1, $2, or whatever. I had a guy today tell me he put $15 on the order, and I was like, okay, whatever. I wasn't, expecting it until I actually see it, but man, sure enough, it was. So I ended up with a Panda Express that was, I believe it was it was $19.25. So he did have the $15 order. I was at the store. I got the order. The store was right by me, and I went and got it, and he was close. I've actually, of the 69 orders that I've taken, have been high paying orders. Again, that's DoorDash's deal of $2 a mile or whatever it is in your area, and mine is $2. So I really think that next week, Monday, everything depends on weather, but I'm going to try to go out and see if I can just sit at this McDonald's, because I've got a McDonald's, a Chick-fil-A, a Whataburger. There's a couple of McAllister's, Brahms. I don't get anything from Brahms, never have. But there's 4 or 5 restaurants there that generally, if I'm there, I'm getting high-paying orders from them. So I'm going to try to see if I can just do a high-paying order day, just to see if I can just sit there and only take the high-paying orders, just to kind of see what that does. I'm intrigued by it because I've had a couple of good little runs. I had one for back-to-back orders that were high-paying. I believe they were all from McDonald's, too, if I'm not mistaken. And it ended up being about $26 in 30 minutes, so give or take, which is pretty good. So anyway, I'll do a quick little video after I finish off my dash this evening, to kind of see where it ended up. I think it's been a successful week of showing that you can dash and take, decent orders. And like I said, maybe it's just a mindset, but hey, anyway, let's have a great day, and I'll finish up and let y'all know. Thank you. Alright, hey guys, I have officially hit 100 orders since Monday. I've accepted 72 of them, and so I have a 72% maintain, 70 average. So I'm going to call it a day on this little experiment here. I am going to keep dashing for a little bit to see. I'm at 99 orders for the month, counting Saturday and Sunday, which wasn't part of these last 7 days. So you know, and still I've got 99 orders and not one of them have had no tip on it. So all 99 have had tips. I've been fairly lucky, so I'm going to keep going for a little bit and see what happens for the rest of the day. I think Easter Sunday's been fairly good for me. I've made, I believe, right at around $100 or something. So I think it's very good in my area. So we're going to keep it up and have a good time. Thank you.